President Vladimir Putin presented medals to soldiers who have fought in Ukraine on Sunday as part of ceremonies marking Russia's Defender of the Fatherland Day. According to Associated Press, the annual military holiday comes a day before the third anniversary of Moscow's so-called special military operation in Ukraine. Putin presented Russian soldiers with state awards for their part in the conflict, saying they were fighting for the peace and future of our people. Also Sunday, Putin laid wreaths at the tomb of the unknown soldier in Moscow alongside the country's defense minister Andrei Belousov.
Добрый день, уважаемые товарищи. Я приветствую вас и поздравляю с Днем Защитника Отечества. Участники специальной военной операции верны славным заветам наших отцов, дедов, прадедов, проявляя мужество. Они, вы стоите на страже России. Отважно боретесь за правду и справедливость, за мир, будущее нашего народа. Благодарю вас и всех ваших товарищей. Благодаря вашим усилиям мы достигаем поставленных целей. Страна гордится вами, вашими подвигами, вашим вкладом в дело защиты Отечества.
EU authorities are negotiating a €20 billion package of additional military aid for Ukraine. As Bloomberg reports, citing sources, the package will include the supply of artillery ammunition, air defense systems, long-range missiles, drones, and other weapons. The aid will also be aimed at strengthening Ukrainian military brigades. All this happens in the wake of US President Donald Trump's attitude towards Ukrainian leader Volodymyr Zelensky. The EU intends to agree on the initiative, which would involve in-kind and cash contributions from member states and like-minded allies, at an upcoming meeting of foreign ministers, according to people familiar with the plans who spoke on condition of anonymity. In addition, it is planned to strengthen individual brigades for their effective use at the front. The European Union aims to reach an agreement in principle on this initiative at a meeting of foreign ministers next week. The initiative envisages both financial assistance and supplies of material resources from member states and allies. The final decision on the cost and approval of the package will remain with the EU leaders. Despite the willingness of the major European countries, this process may be delayed due to Hungary's position, which opposes new military aid to Ukraine, as well as Germany's need to decide on further steps after the elections. For its part, the European Union is actively seeking ways to strengthen its support for Ukraine, provide it with security guarantees in the event of a peace agreement with Russia, and increase its own defense spending after Trump made it clear that he intends to resume negotiations with Moscow. In addition to financial and military support, major European powers are discussing the possibility of sending peacekeeping forces to Ukraine, the deployment of which is being discussed after the conclusion of peace between Ukraine and Russia. EU leaders will then agree on the amount of such contributions and sign the package. However, as the publication noted, these deadlines may be missed, since Hungary has already stated that it will not support this initiative, and Germany is concerned about the elections.
Ukraine does not conduct air battles against the Russian occupiers in which only aircraft participate on both sides. As aviation expert and leading researcher at the National Aviation University, Valery Romanenko said on air at the telethon, this is impossible due to the absence of the corresponding aircraft in the arsenal of the Ukrainian armed forces. Air combat is the main means of destroying enemy aircraft. It is an active means of enemy aircraft. Unfortunately, we do not have air battles now, precisely because they are not on equal terms. Our last air battles took place in May 2022. Since then, the destruction of enemy aircraft has been carried out by anti-aircraft missiles, ground forces using portable air defense systems, and air battles are now taking place at a distance of more than 40 kilometers, usually 40 to 60 kilometers, the specialist said. He noted that now the main requirements for an aircraft are not speed, not flight altitude, etc., but the capabilities of its radar and the range of its missiles, as well as the capabilities of the onboard defense system. The expert also explained that battles similar to those waged by the Ukrainian Navy, which managed to drive the Russian fleet back to Novorossiysk without actually having any ships, are impossible in the air. That is, this was done mainly with the help of drones. Romanenko added that we do not have drones that carry long-range missiles in the air. In addition, he explained that large waves at sea can cover a drone, but in the air, it is much more difficult to disguise. In addition, the Russians have a huge number of radar stations, and in the area of the line of combat clashes, such protection is especially dense. He also said that the enemy had completely restored the losses that its aviation had suffered during almost 3 years of war against Ukraine. According to him, 370 successful launches of our anti-aircraft missiles have been confirmed, after which the target disappeared from sight. The expert claims either it was really destroyed or damaged, or it simply went out of radar coverage. This can be found out in a few years after the war. The situation is this: the number of aircraft whose destruction has been confirmed is just over 120 units. For the Russian army, the only irreversible losses are the 4 dozen Su-25 attack aircraft, which are no longer produced. At the same time, Russia produces Su-30, Su-35, Su-34 and Su-57 fighters. In 2022, the Russians produced only 27 combat aircraft. In 2023, about 25. Last year, 22 to 24. In general, losses in aircraft of the most modern types, except for attack aircraft, have been completely restored. That is, the situation remains difficult for our Air Force, Romanenko emphasized.